My name is Nasko at Cymatics here, and in this video we're going to be doing a future bass drop inside of FL Studio 12. Now we're going to be starting off with the drums, then we're going to go over to the cymbals, the effects we're going to be using, the background effects, and then we're going to be doing the chords, the main sub, and the bass, and maybe another ARP as well to sort of contemplate the whole thing. All right, so we're going to start off with the drums. At Academy FM there's a sample pack which is called Cymatics Future Bass Drums Volume 1, and we're just going to go ahead and find a good kick. Alright, I really like this kick right here. Now we're going to take two snares, kind of layer them. Like this kick snare right here. And this snare right here. And now we're going to take another snare. This one right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to send this to a mixer channel. We're going to load up a reverb 2, 3D reverb 2. I'm going to take up the decay, take up the size, open up Edison on the master, click on record, solo the snare and just play it. And then go back to Edison and stop recording. Then we're just going to take around this part right here of the recorded sample and we're just going to drag it into the playlist. You can now get rid of the 3D reverb 2 and this snare. And we can reverse the sample and use it as a sort of reverse impact sound. All right, let's just put it right here. And let's do a fade in. Perfect. And now let's just put the first snare right there and the second snare right here. All right. And I already have some sort of idea for this whole thing. All right, so we've got this start. I also want to add some percussion loop. So we're gonna go ahead and open up one up. Really like this one. And we're gonna change the tempo to 145. Make sure this is fixed right here. And let's go ahead and go back into the sampler, click on normalize and do a fade in for this one as well. All right, and now let's add some rides, some cymbals, and all that good stuff. And I'm gonna open up a cymbal loop. Really like this one, and this one. And we're gonna make sure that these are on the right tempo. So we're gonna go and stretch with this one. Click on stretch, and stretch this one out to be the same tempo. Perfect. And we're just going to switch it to resample. Nice. And what we're going to do now is we're going to just keep this playing right here until we are right at this end right here. And maybe we're also going to cut it right here and use this whole part again right here. So this is what it's going to sound like. Let's do this. And now let's just assign all of these drums to different mixer channels. So we're just going to assign them to the kick. We're going to assign to mixer channel 1. The snares we're going to assign to mixer channel 2. And we're going to make sure that this is not clipping. So we're going to take down the gain a little bit, put in put on a limiter, take down the gain a bit, and take the attack down all the way off this envelope, so we have no latency going on. Now we're gonna also load in the transient processor, turn up the attack, turn up the release a bit, just to give it back that initial punch. And with these symbols right here, we're gonna send one of them to mixer channel 3, one of them to mixer channel 4. The mixer channel 3 one is gonna be sent to the sidechain. I've made a sidechain channel right here. We're also gonna go ahead and put the sidechain channel, the sidechain automation down whenever the drums hit, like that. All right. Now what we're going to make sure though is that this cymbal loop is pretty quiet, and the other one can just play. Very nice. Now let's just add some sort of crash hits and all that good stuff. So we're going to go over to, say, let's see, Titan Trap and Future Bass Sample Pack, Drum 1 shots, hi-hats and cymbals, crashes. I'm going to use this one. That's a very nice one, all right. I'm going to take up the fade out a bit, and I'm going to take down the volume a bit. I'm going to send this to channel 5. And I'm going to put an EQ on it and just cue out the lower frequencies. I'm also going to add the transient processor and take away all the attack. There we go. Make it a bit louder as well. Not too loud though. Also on this cymbal loop, I'm going to add another transient processor and take away some of the attacks. Very nice. All right, now let's try and find a nice vocal loop sample to sort of already give us the sort of feel for this whole drop. So I'm going to go over to vocal loops instead of the anthem, vocal loops and one shots, and let's see if we can find a good one. This one is really cool. Let's try and use it. I'm going to turn on the stretch, and I'm just going to stretch it so that it fits. And I'm going to leave this on generic. This is a D sharp minor, so let's go ahead and see if we can see where F sharp minor is, because I like that one far more. That one is up 2 semitones. Sounds pretty cool. All right, let's process this vocal properly. Let's add some OTT. Let's also add some reverb onto this. I'm gonna open up reverb 2. And then I'm gonna open up the free compressor. Let's strongly compress this. Right, and let's cue this as well. Let's see if we can actually push this up even further. So we're going to turn the pitch range up to 12. And maybe change the stretch. Alright, let's see if we can... that doesn't seem to work. Alright, let's leave it at that pitch. Alright, let's cut it in the middle and let's loop this vocal loop. Let's also give this snare hit a little bit more oomph. So let's get rid of the limiter and let's EQ this. And let's add some reverb on it as well. So we're going to open up the 3D reverb too. Right, that sounds really cool. And now what we're also going to add is we're going to record this little part right here. So we're going to add another reverb. Take up the dump a bit, take up the decay a bit, take up the size a bit, take up the wet a bit. Open up Edison again, click on new and record this part. That's totally enough. Get rid of the reverb again, and now let's just drag this whole sample around this much. Just drag it onto the playlist and go on reverse, normalize, and just normalize it like that. And now you sort of have a nice, very nice reverse vocal effect. Let's do a little bit more. Put that into 7. Dope. Alright, now let's get over to the chords we're going to add. So I'm going to click on Add, Serum, and let's go ahead and do some really cool chords here. So this is supposed to be F minor, so we're going to start with F. Alright, let's copy over this drum pattern right here. Just so we have more points, we can add some really cool chord changes. Okay, so it starts like this. I got rid of this one because we don't actually use it. So now it's really just up to what the chords are going to tell. Right, that sounds pretty cool. Alright. This one we gotta change a little bit. Let's change this one. So we got something like this. And I want to add one more note to this whole thing. I can also tell that the drums on this part right here are a bit offset, so let's fix that. Let's add another note, very high note. Alright, that sounds pretty dope. Now let's go inside Serum, turn up the unison, turn up the detune. Leave it down actually. Turn on the second one, turn up the detune, and turn up the unison, I mean. Turn up the detune, turn down the bit. And let's go ahead and cue this a little bit. Add some OTT. Down the depth a bit, and let's add a wave shaper. Where is it at? Fruity wave shaper. This one we're just going to distort a bit. Maybe a bit less. Let's just sort of a bit less. And what we're also going to do here now is a really cool trick. We're going to clone the Serum, and we're going to copy over the chord progression. I'm going to take one of the notes out, so all of them are just 4 notes. I'm going to solo this, and now what we're going to do here is we're going to go to Tools, Arpeggiate, and we're going to do it a bit different. And the pattern is going to be We can also do just this thing completely manually, and we can just I kind of want this to be faster, like sort of almost like a, how do you say, like a chipmunk kind of, not chipmunk, but I mean like a 8-bit chip kind of feel. So we're going to go to snap, and I'm going to make this faster. So we're going to put it to 1 to 4. And we're just going to make this a lot faster. And I think we're just going to copy over this whole part right here. So we're going to just press Control B, 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 B. There you go. Right, and do the same thing on this one. Also go inside, go to initialize preset, and pick the square wave. Maybe we want it even faster. Let's see. Yeah, maybe even faster is better. Let's see. So we're just going to copy over these notes right here. No, that's actually too fast. Whoops. Am I pressing something wrong? Okay, FLCD doesn't want to undo this, so let's just make it longer again. All right, we're just going to loop this, and we're going to repeat the same thing for the other chords. Whoops. And for this one. All right. Sounding pretty cool. Now let's go to FX, turn on reverb, go to play, turn up the width, turn up the size, and put envelope 1 onto it. And now also go ahead and put LFO 1 onto the level. All right, put that onto mixer channel 8. Get an EQ, get an OTT, turn up the time, turn on the depth, turn up the outgain, and send that to the sidechain. Now, let's go ahead and add another Serum, and we're going to do the bass notes. So we're going to copy over the chords, and we're just going to delete the highest notes. So let's go ahead and press Control A, Control, and pitch this one up 1 octave. Whoops. Let's see if we can pitch this one down 1 octave. Nope, just keep it up 1 octave. You gotta make sure that you can really hear those notes. All right, now let's go ahead and turn on the noise a bit and turn up some unison, turn on the detune, go to global, turn on the width as well, go to distortion, in the effects section, turn that up, and turn the multiband compression on. Alright, now let's go ahead and open up an OTT on that sound. And let's open up a wave shaper. You can also now go into the filter section and add a band reject and try to give it some sort of like speaky. Take it down volume wise and get rid of the frequencies. And actually add more low and mid-low frequencies. Now let's clone that Serum, initialize it, and copy over the bass notes. Go to assign it to a new mixer channel. And let's go and just load up simple sine wave and go inside, delete the sawtooth wave, remove current index, and you can do a spectral or crossfade. But we just want a little bit of harmonics in there. Now we're going to open up a Fruity, not the Fruity OTT. I'm going to open up an OTT and take down the depth a bit, open up a limiter, take up the gain a lot, take down the attack all the way, then open up a parametric EQ2, and just get rid of the high harmonics. And send that to the sidechain as well. Make sure you're not distorting it too much. Sounding pretty dope already. Alright, now let's unsolo those things. Some of this is not sidechained yet, so let's do that as well. Alright, so these things seem to be sidechained. Let's give it a listen. Now clearly this bass right here is way too loud. Also I want it to have more unison. And more mid-low frequencies. On this one, let's actually get rid of the and let's take up the supersaws a bit more. Push the vocals a bit more as well. I feel like the vocals might have some off notes, like some notes that are off. So we can compensate for that with new tone. Or actually, let me see if we've got another plugin in here. Let's try pitcher. And let's see if we've got some presets in here. Well, we don't. So let's switch it up from a minor to an F minor and have the speed fast. That's fine. And all right, what we can also do is just load it into Newton. So when we load it in, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have, right, we're not gonna have the key, but we can just select everything and move it up 2. And we can center everything. Let's just try some third-party audio tune. So I'm gonna pick the let's see, Waves Tune Real Time right here. All right, I'm gonna drag in the Waves Tune Real Time, and I'm gonna pick F natural minor and let it do the work. You can even pitch it differently and it's going to fix it for us. Let's see if we can take up the time a bit. We can even try a different vocal sample. But we can stick with this one for now, and I think that sounds pretty cool. I want to give the snare a bit more present. So I'm gonna add a transient shaper. Whoops, I mean a transient processor, just to give it. Wait, oh, I've got it on the wrong channel. I'm sorry. All right, let's open up a transient processor. We've taken, and let's give it a bit more presence. And I think we might have to, yeah, right. So one thing you gotta be very careful of if you use these huge future bass kicks, that the sub doesn't interfere with any other sub. So as you can see right here, we are indeed interfering with the main sub. So let's do that. Now the kick has lost a little bit of weight, so we're gonna open up a transient process and give it some attack. And what we can also do is just make a little bit of a longer side chain. Give the kick some. All right, that sounds pretty dope. Let's see if we can clone the whole chord progression. And whoops. Let's see if we can pitch this up 1 octave. Perfect. All right, so we've just created a feature bass drop instead of a velocity. And now let's just master it real quick. Just a very simple mastering. Take a fruity balance and obviously take the volume down because we've boosted it a ton. All right, and now let's add some multiband compression. change the crossfade points a bit. And let's take the ratio of the low band to 6, the ratio of the mid band to 3.3, and the high band, high band ratio to 8. And the release is fine on 100 for each, and the attack should be around 20 milliseconds. And change it to FIR mode. Now what you gotta be careful of is that you're not compressing too much. As you can see right here, we are heavily compressing the mids and the highs. So let's take down the volume a bit. Actually, also, you can just go to the thresholds and change them to, say, minus 10 decibels. But yeah, you don't want to be compressing too much. I still feel like this bass is a bit too loud. Great. And now we can just add a maximus and make things loud again. So we're going to go to presets, default, go to the low section and boost it. Go to the mid section and turn off the compression for both the mid and the high band. Change the high band crossfade to 16,000 hertz. Change the low cut to, say, 26 hertz. And go back to the low band and switch it to mono entirely. And now with the mid band, we can solo it and push it. Just take a look at how much we boosted the lows. That's around 12 decibels. So let's do the same for the mid band. And obviously we can just copy over the the volume and paste it to the high band. Now, obviously, this is being compressed a ton, as you can tell. And what we can do here is take this right point right here, all the way up. Now it's not compressing anything at all. You can slowly take it down. And we can also turn down the amount a bit to, say, 11 decibels. Copy the value and paste the value. And then we can just turn on some saturation. And if we look at the master, so yeah, that was a future bass drop inside of FL Studio 12.